Sorry, excuse me. I was distracted by the sky. It's an absolute spectacle here. What an absolute beauty we journey from in Hollowfall. It's Jordan and Nick coming at you with another episode of the Valley of Spirits. And we are in the Meridar Tavern, which is expertly run by the Queen, Nelia Ironsong, who's always got a fresh pint and a tale to share. Grab a seat by the hearth, adventurers. There's much to discuss.
Reminder that we did take last week off to give us time to revamp and adjust how we're doing the news segment or the front half of our episodes. And so we aren't going to be reading hot fixes verbatim and trying to spice them up. We're going to be covering those as we see fit. And we're going to be focusing more on news articles and other things, Warcraft. It's things that we want to be able to have the common player that is actually interested in, because we both realize that not everybody wants to sit here and listen to the 3% boost that, classes got or lost and
Right.
XYZ. Because some people just, they don't care. And it's not bad they don't care. It's just they're just playing the game at a different level.
So let's get into it then.
Jordan, why don't you start us off and tell us what you've done in the last 2 weeks?
In the last 2 weeks. On the first week, Nick actually was there with our beloved guild. We got a 5 of 8 down on the normal on our first try at it. It was really cool, really constructive group. Maybe I'll get a little bit more into it in the Tavern Talk when I talk about some views on the raid. But I really had a blast with everybody when we got 5 of 8 on the first week, for sure. I did not touch raiding the second week, I'll be honest with you.
I don't think I did either.
I did the LFRs, but I did not orchestrate a raid. I talked with the group members that are around, and we didn't orchestrate a raid. So this week is going to be a little different. I'm a bit interested to see what we do on Tuesday and Wednesday, with me having a bit more availability during those hours, and seeing if we can get a group together for sure. But we only did one normal 5 of 8, which was awesome, and we'll get into it. I did a bunch of dungeons, though. Did an absolute butt ton of dungeons. Yeah, my warrior now is 575, my evoker is 589, and my mage is 601. So it's looking pretty sick. I did a lot of dungeons. The problem is delves. I've cheesed all the delves I can get. All my coffer keys are long burnt now. So there's no more cheese anymore. I'm spent. So Nick, what did you get up to this week? That's literally it. I didn't do anything else. I cheesed some gear this week.
I mean, I've been cheesing gear the last 2 weeks too. For raiding, as Jordan said, we got into our raid day 1, did 5 out of 8 on normal with some players from guild and some friends from another guild. It was great. We had a killer. I wish we would have recorded it. The commentary and that was great. It was a really good time. Dungeons, I have been hitting Mythics pretty hard. As I said 2 weeks ago, I wanted to start playing in the charts. I am in the low 400s for Paladins on Mal'Ganis. I was, at time of recording, I'm like 420 something. Before the weekend, I was like 250 range. So I've been pushing it pretty hard, but I'm loving it. I'm going hard. I got to get back on the wagon here at the start of this week so I can get back up there. But as Jordan said too, I've used all my delve keys.
Yeah, crunch and those are awesome.
And those are
I
so
love the
fun.
coffer
You and
keys.
I doing
Yeah,
those sometimes that's great. And then adding in some of the guild members to it too. I like the delves whether I'm running them solo or I'm doing them with everybody.
with a crunch group. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been a great add to the game, I think. Yeah, like I said too, is pushing gear. I'm at 595 right now. Got to replace 1 or 2 more purple items or 1 or 2 more items to be purple. But that's pretty much what that's my last 2 weeks have been doing that and hitting Mythics hard.
Yeah, get it. You've been doing your murder's been insane. Absolutely insane.
Oh, dude, I love the fact that we went on the raid because I learned a little bit from K-Biff, the other paladin in our guild.
Brother Biff.
Yeah, he and I go back and forth.
Love you, Biff, if you're listening.
But I learned a lot, how to really fine-tune the paladin from him. And, I've just been smoking everything now. It's so beautiful. Jordan, that pretty much wraps up my last 2 weeks. You want to run us over what the guild's been up to?
So we did talk about how we got a 5 of 8 run with some guildies. We did bring in a neighboring guild to come and help us out. There was 5 of us. There was 6 of them. So take that as what you will. I call that a guild run. It was an absolutely great time. Everybody was in voice. Everybody was communicating on issues. People were accountable when they made mistakes. To be honest with you, the reason why I wanted to make sure that this was a hard topic for us is because this is why I raid in this video game. Those kinds of experiences. That was absolutely amazing.
Well,
So,
it was. You've made the comment before about like when everybody does a mechanic perfectly and how it's like very
and you do
synchronous
the
and all that.
dance,
Oh
yeah.
my god, dude! And it was
And we don't
so.
necessarily, it's week 1. We don't
Yeah, we
necessarily
didn't know what we were
know if
walking
we're
into on
doing it
stuff.
right, but we got to try, right?
Right, but still, the fact that we were able to go through the raid, and yeah, we wiped a couple times on 1 or 2 bosses, but we sat there, went, okay, what mechanic are we missing, and how are we screwing up a little bit? How do we, reattack the situation?
How can we
It,
make sure that doesn't happen again? Is
yeah,
there
and
somebody
it
we
was,
can mark? Can we put it on the floor? Can we have a call out
yeah,
when a person has a debuff?
it
Like,
was so nice
it
to,
was an amazing experience.
yeah, and it was just great. Like, I love the way you put it though. It felt like a true guild run. It was so nice, and I want us to get a full guild run going.
Yeah, for real. Soon. But follow us on the Electric Boogaloo on the Mal'Ganis server. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're there. Just make sure you hit us up. Let us know if you want to do some stuff. We're pretty chill around these parts. So let's move into some changes we have this week. Some events, some holidays, some things like that. We do have the end of Cooking Impossible in the PvP brawl, but we have the beginning of the Tamble Hot Mogu, which is, I give it a mid. Give it a shot yourself, definitely. Like I say, always give the PvP brawls at least a shot or two, the goofy ones. It is worth the wait, but they can be pretty interesting and they make you think differently. So I like Cooking Impossible more, so sorry if you missed out on it. We have the Battleground bonus event, which is kind of interesting. I always thought this was they made honor really valuable for certain things in this expansion. So farming honor is actually a little bit more worth it than it was. I don't know exactly what the rewards are necessarily for this, but there will be a Battleground bonus event. So definitely some time to take a look at that. We have the end of BC Time Walking, which there was some leveling cheese, and actually there was a couple of problems with leveling and scaling, actually, which I dealt with myself firsthand. There was a time when nobody in the group was at a level when they could restrict their ability to gain XP. Because if you're level 70 or lower at this time, you can lock your character at a level 70 or lower and make sure they don't gain any more XP. And if they get restricted to things like instance groups, they can't do a lot of things because if somebody groups with a person of this XP, they also get the debuff. The interesting part is I have gotten this debuff a couple of times in the War Within, which is really concerning. It was really frustrating to get through 5 or 6 time walkings and get a grand total of 475 experience from 3 time walking dungeons altogether. That's a little bit not cool. So there's some bugs and some things that they're fixing. And so that's actually the end of the events this week. Pretty interesting. Well, actually, we do have Brewfest, excuse me. And Brewfest goes on from the 20th of September until the 6th of October. And I definitely incentivize you to look into it. There's a couple of mugs, there's a couple of collectibles you can get, but the truth is it's actually just really funny and cool. So just go do it once, go do the Brewfest thing, experience it. It's funny. There's NPCs that talk to you. It's cool. It's sweet. Yep. So go see Brewfest once for sure.
Yeah, I think every major holiday in WoW is a fun time, and you can always get some cool shit from them.
You can get some stuff, yeah, definitely. And it depends on your opinion for sure. It's very subjective in that sense. Certainly something. We do have the final wing of LFR coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep, so you will now be able to complete the entire raid in LFR. Very exciting. Well, we won't touch on the raid too much. There's a lot of hot fixes they've been nerfing and touching, and they've been screwing with a lot. We actually specifically talked we're going to go a little easier on the hot fixes this episode.
Yes, we are.
Because we don't want to be reading you a book. We want to be talking with you about how we feel about these things.
Yeah, and we'd rather, like I said, talk about the game than just read you. Oh, Paladin's done this, Warrior's done, like, it just gets boring.
Yep, and so definitely stay tuned. We have a lot of other news coming up. We do have some Cataclysm Classic and Season of Discovery updates, so very interesting. So we know the Molten Front came out on the 17th, and I have heard it's actually been a really good experience for the guys who are playing Cataclysm Classic. It's actually a lot of fun. I think, in my understanding, they balanced it well. If you're a person who really wants to experience something like a refined Cataclysm experience, definitely make sure you get on the Molten Front. I've heard it's actually really cool, and a lot of people are having a lot of fun with it. We do have Season of Discovery Phase 5 coming out on September 26th. So that'll be 2 days from when this posts. So that'll be on Thursday, the 26th. You'll be able to collect things like Tier 2 armor sets. You'll be able to fight Zul'Gurub. I don't want to go into it too much. There's a very good WoW article, which I will make sure is linked in the description below. But we do have some pretty cool fights coming out in Classic as well for Season of Discovery Phase 5. All right, Nick. Is it time? Can I talk about it? Can I bring it up again?
Yeah,
Can
Jordan,
I bring it up?
Go ahead. Talk about it. I know you've been excited.
I'm going to talk about it. We have an official date for the WoW 20th anniversary, and they are going to start giving us these rewards, which we don't necessarily know all of yet. There's still some mystery and some spookiness, but they will be doing it on October 22nd. Is when they will be starting our 20th anniversary event, which you may want to make sure you're a part of. They are doing all kinds of things, from new transmogs to remaking Tier 2 sets to...
Dude, the Paladin Tier 2 set. Oh, I am so hunting that.
To getting mounts and pets you couldn't get for years from other anniversary sets. They are opening the floodgates.
It's if you're a collector of mounts, pets, or you like different transmog stuff, it is the time to shine pretty much and just go at it. Like, it's going to be hard for me, like, trying to do the 20th anniversary stuff and keep up on Mythics. Like,
there's going to be so much worth getting. There's going to be... I imagine they're going to make you make some choices, because I am also a man who I will not let everything go to the wayside for the 20th anniversary, but I'll do some stuff. Let's see what's going on. The truth is, I'm actually saving stuff for a future episode. We'll wait till it gets more announced. We'll have more to talk about next week for sure, I'm sure, about this kind of thing. But the 20th anniversary is doing all kinds of crazy unconfirmed things. So I'm really excited to get mounts you couldn't get for a long time. There's so much. There's so much to it. So Nick and I will come together with a good compacted version of that. Just make sure you keep your eyes open for the 20th anniversary coming up. So we do have some new affixes coming out. We've actually had a little bit of time to play with these. Some Mythic keys have been out. I have not actually experienced the deep end. But Nick, would you give us a little bit of a recap of what these are like?
They've changed the affixes around. So now we have all the Xal'atath bargains that are around from +2 to +11. So you have Ascendant, Voidbound, Oblivion, and Devour. Ascendant is that Xal'atath summons orbs. And if you don't take them out, then the mobs get a speed and haste buff. If you do, then it flips to players. Energy that attempts to empower nearby creatures increases their haste and movement speed by 10% for 20 seconds. If players drop these orbs, they claim the power for themselves. So yeah, it flips to players. For Voidbound, when the group is in combat, Xal'atath will summon the Void Emissary and will begin to immediately empower nearby enemy mobs with Dark Prayer. And if the players disrupt this cast, they're going to gain a 20-second buff reduction cooldown and also increase their crit. So for Oblivion, you're going to have crystals appear that will go towards mobs. And if the mobs get them, you will be giving them a gain on damage reduction per crystal absorbed. However, when players soak them, they're going to gain what's called Void Essence, which is going to grant the entire party increased mastery and leech per stack for 20 seconds. For Devour...
so you want to pick them up? Yeah, it's a Kiss Curse. They're all Kiss Curses.
Yeah. For the last one, Devour, Xal'atath is going to periodically cast what's called Void Rift, which is a healing absorption that can be removed by healing it off or dispelling it. The absorb is 15 seconds long. If it's not removed before the duration expires, the shield will explode, healing enemy mobs. And so you're going to want to get it gone because it's going to be a pain in the ass trying to kill something and then it coming back to life. But when it is removed, the players will gain Lingering Void, which is going to grant them health and crit for 20 seconds. So those are all the new Xal'atath bargain affixes. Just a little recap on them since we've opened up Mythics. And those are going to rotate every week. And you're going to see different things at different levels. So +2, +3 is only going to have the Xal'atath bargains. 4, 5, 6 is going to have Xal'atath bargains. Plus, you're going to flip between Tyrannical and Fortified. And 7 to 9, you will have everything stated prior, plus Challenger's Peril. And then you'll have Xal'atath's Guile from 12 and up.
Yeah, because you get Challenger's Peril is just the super punishing. If you die, it's worth 3 times more.
Yeah.
You lose 15 seconds instead of 5. And then you have the opposite, Tyrannical or Fortified at 10, I believe.
No, I think they're
both.
both at 10.
Both at 10, yep.
Yeah.
And then once you get to 12, you get Xalatath's Guile, but you lose the bargain. But you have to now deal with Guile, which is just straight up increased damage and
health by 20%, which getting to 12 is going to be a challenge, I think.
Well, getting beyond 12 will be a challenge, yes.
But I think overall, I think the move has all been really good, from the changes we saw at the end of Dragonflight and how they've done it for War Within.
They really like it. We'll see. We'll see how keys go.
Yeah. I will say that Challenger's Peril, though, oh my god, it's going to be a pain in the ass.
That's terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying.
Dude, I did
as a mage player, that's terrifying.
I did a Dawnbreaker, like +2 or +3, I can't remember. And I was like, the amount of times people died because polls got screwed up, whatever, we just barely made time. And it was like, whew, if we would have had 15 seconds, I would have been like, cool. I think we had like 20 deaths. It was ridiculous.
It was tight, yeah. No, Dawnbreaker is not very intuitive. It does. I think it's cool. I like the fight, whatever. All the hate's unjustified.
Ha! On Dawnbreaker, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
I love it.
But Jordan, I think there's something else you have been really excited to share with everybody when it concerns our esports section and what's been going on in the rating.
Well, Liquid has been absolutely murdering.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Team Liquid, let's go. They, at the time of recording, they recently downed the Princess, and they have become the very first guild to become 6 of 8 in the world, which is very exciting.
They're making great progress.
They are insane. It's insane, and Echo is such a monstrous army to face. Do it for us. Do it for the North Americans. And at this point, we have second place is Echo, third place is Method. Instant dollars. Woo! Dude, that's Team Mal'Ganis right there. Let's go.
Yeah. It'd be great if they were fucking doing 6 of 8. I'd love for Mal'Ganis to get wrecked.
They're just a Mal'Ganis guild. And there's some real homies doing some work. So I'm very interested to see how the world first turns out. Some of this is going to be a couple of days old. It would be really funny if Liquid downs this by the time this is posted. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That would be insane.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think the council, I'm interested to see the council.
Yeah, I mean, just watching them do what they've been doing in the raid has been fantastic, but I think it's going to be a challenge.
What they have to do it is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-boggling. But yeah, definitely take a look at the Race the World first. Some VODs from it for sure in the past. There's a lot of really good plays that have been done. There's a lot of really weird comps. It's kind of interesting. I did want to talk a little bit about some dates we have coming up. We have October 16th through the 21st will be the Season 1 time trials for the MDI. The top 16 teams from that on November 1st through 3rd and then 8th through 10th will be fighting for the top 3. And 2 of the seeds go to Chinese teams, which I think is really interesting. And we'll see how it goes. Pretty interested in seeing how 2 guaranteed Asian side teams in the MDI. I'm really excited for that, actually. I'm interested to see what they do. So we do also have the Arena World Cup that happens. It starts on September 25th. So this is kind of interesting. There are unique AWC Cup dates. Like, you'll be able to watch the first AWC game, which is not announced exactly where people are going to be at this time, but you can watch it from September 27th to 29th. You can watch the second AWC Cup game from the October 4th to 10th. You can watch the AWC Cup 3, October 11th to 13th, and the AWC Cup 4 from October 18th to 20th. Then the top 3 teams and the bottom 5 teams do, as they have for years and years. The bottom 5 go to an AWC gauntlet where one person makes it to the top 4, and then they compete for the War Within Grand Finals Season 1. The timing of this, I think, could be way... Well, let me start with the good stuff. The Mythic Dungeon Invitational I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to see what strategies they use on the dungeons, and I think it's very well timed. There's some time to sit on this. There's some time for the best guilds in the world to hold on to their secret strategies. There's all kinds of really cool things that can happen in the MDI. Now, the AWC is interesting.
In what way?
You have to use a certain amount of tricks in your bag right out the gate. I feel like once you get through these AWC cups, you don't have any tricks anymore, right? I'm interested. I just got to see it, the Arena World Cup. I'm interested in it. I'm not good at it, but I do want to watch it. I'm very excited for it, for sure.
Hey, you can watch anything. You don't have to be good at it.
True. And so, Nick, it is that time. Would you please send us out?
I will. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the Valley of Spirits. We're your hosts, Jordan and Nick, your go-to Horde players. Join us in Dornagal on the Melgana server. Look up our guild, the Electric Boogaloo, for some epic adventures. Stay connected with us on our social medias. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or X as it is known these days, by searching the Valley of Spirits podcast. Don't miss out on an episode. Follow us on Spotify or anywhere you find podcasts. You can check out our YouTube for additional content not found on our podcast platforms. And until next time, may your quest be glorious and your loot be plentiful. And as always,
for the Horde.